Alright everyone, we are back here with Daddy League's Media Network Conquest Part 2 for MLB 16, the show. Today, we are going to pick up exactly where we left off with the first video, just getting ready to move in and take over Minnesota. So let's get right on into it. As you're going to notice, first off, we are a little bit short on troops to be able to play it on veteran, so we're going to go ahead and skip to the reinforcement phase here, add up our troops, and go ahead and play this one on veteran and see if we can't pick up the victory here. So there's the victory for you, 2-1 over the Twins, taking that Stronghold. Actually, I ended up losing the first game, so you're going to notice a little discrepancy in troops here, because what I had to do was go back and just go through the reinforcement phase again after I lost that, and now we're back here. So anyway, so basically what our goal is what we want to do now after we took over the Stronghold is we want to just kind of wither away at whatever is left here of Minnesota. So as you can see, we're going to go up north, east, and then back down south, taking out Minnesota. And what our plan here is after that is we're going to shoot to the right 2 tiles, take over Milwaukee, get their Stronghold here. But as always, first thing is first here, we're not going to quite have enough troops to be able to take them in the first run here. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and skip through the phases, as always, capture, move, and just reinforce everything we have into this tile right next to Milwaukee. So now we can go ahead and battle them on veteran. And as you can see, we did go ahead and beat Milwaukee there. And now I'm going to just kind of tell you guys what our plan is coming up here. So we're going to go south to Chicago. As you can see, there's not much left there, and my ultimate goal is I want to, instead of going east now, I want to go all the way to the west. So we're going to go ahead south to Chicago, and after we get Chicago, we're going to swoop back up north a little bit and clean up the remains of Chicago and Milwaukee to pretty much take them off the board altogether. So as you can see, here we go. We are moving south now, and as you can see on the first phase, we can get veterans. So let's go ahead and see how that turns out. And once again, we did pick up the victory over Chicago there. Got a couple rewards, got to state them as a reward there. So now what we're going to do, as I explained the last one, we're going to move a little bit west, and we're going to go up north, clear out the remains of what Chicago has and what Milwaukee has. So basically, we'll be able to loop around what once was Milwaukee's Stronghold here by taking out those guys. And by about the time we get to the end, we pretty much should be out of the troops that we had remaining here. So as you can see, we're fast forwarding, and that is about where we left off. So now what our next plan is going to be is once we get to the reinforcements again, we're going to reinforce the Chicago Stronghold, and we're going to move those fans and be able to use them to sweep up the remainder of Chicago. Once we get the remainder of Chicago swept up, we're going to head kind of towards our initial Stronghold, because that's kind of where the remainder of their fans are. And then once we get that, the next plan is we're going to reinforce straight above Colorado, and we're just going to go down 2 tiles and take Colorado. That's going to be our next goal for the Stronghold. Alright, so we're back now, and as you can see, we moved our way up back towards our main Stronghold. Ended up eventually running out of our fans there, and we're going to reinforce, as I said, right above the Colorado Stronghold. Move down 1, move down another to take the Colorado Stronghold. But as you guys can once again see, we do not quite have enough troops. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and skip to the reinforcement phase again, add all of our troops in, and now we are geared up and ready to go to take on the Colorado Stronghold. So once again, we were able to take that victory 8-2, as you can see the reward screen there. So now we have a bunch of troops in Colorado's once Stronghold, and basically, as I've done with the other ones, what we're going to do now is we're going to try to basically just sweep through the remains of what Colorado had. I want to pretty much eliminate them from the board completely. And once again, I'm going to kind of explain to you guys the strategy that I'm going to use as I progress forward from this point. So what's actually going to happen is we're probably going to run into some tough times, because the way that I want to proceed is I want to go west to Seattle, and Seattle right now has a pretty big gathering of fans. They have a couple strongholds up there, and they have a lot of territory. And the reason that I want to go west is because if you look to the east right now, there's so many different strongholds there that I kind of just want to let that play out. They're going to take each other out at some point. They're going to at least weaken themselves. So the strongholds that were once Milwaukee and Chicago, they're not going to probably get taken over by anything, but we're gonna just kind of abandon them and leave them there. We're gonna have some troops there so they don't actually get taken over, but we're gonna focus all of our efforts just moving west now to clean up what we have left of Colorado, as I said. And then we're going to try to get up north and push our way into Seattle and push down to Seattle's next stronghold and take them out. Because once we get those guys out, as you can see, we have an extremely small San Francisco, a very small Angels right now. Diamondbacks are getting a little bit big, but they're not too big. But once we do that, that's only 4 people we got to take out, and then we're going to own the entire West Coast rather than having to try to go through the 7 or 8 teams and strongholds that are just in like the northeast and east section of the eastern seaboard. So like I said, we're going to go ahead and move through there. And as you guys can now see, we've pretty much got most of Colorado out. There is a little bit left down towards the bottom, but that's not going to be a threat. More than likely, Arizona is going to go ahead and take those guys out. So as you guys can see now, we're going to start moving into Seattle. And like I said, we're more than likely going to be running into some troubles here because I'm going to try to make a straight beeline across into the stronghold. But as you guys can already see, they've went out and cut the back end of that off. So basically what that is going to result in is that we can't reinforce that top end. So what we're going to have to keep doing is we're going to have to keep reinforcing the side that is attached to our mainland, attached to the other strongholds. And just kind of work our way, you know, taking the top section, bottom section into Seattle so we can get towards that stronghold. And now for the sake of saving you guys a whole lot of time and a lot of really boring viewing experience, I'm going to go ahead and really fast forward through this really drawn out march into Seattle. One thing I learned from playing this whole thing is, one, umpires in Conquest really suck. There was a couple times where I was robbed of, in my capture game, of some easy strikeouts. And also, one thing that we'll be skipping through in this long fast forward road here, I did actually, in that capture game I was just mentioning, that was one of the longest games I've played in Conquest so far, which should have been a 3-inning game. Ended up going all the way into the bottom of the 8th inning. I used every single pitcher I had and eventually lost at the end, so I did not actually end up winning the capture. But anyway, so as I said, we're fast forwarding through here. We're just going to get right to the end any second now, where we're getting ready to take over Seattle, and then we're going to march on through the rest of Seattle after that. Alright, so there's the end result. We did actually, after losing the capture phase, as I previously mentioned, we did go on and we were able to beat Seattle 1-0 to take our next stronghold. So as we wrap up the video here, what you guys are going to see me do is I'm going to move to this couple remaining fans up north, take that, move down the western seaboard, and we're going to skip over San Fran right now because they're just kind of stuck in the corner there, and what we want to do is we want to take out this Seattle stronghold here right below us. So like I said, as we're wrapping up the video, we're just gonna kind of gather our remaining troops, take out a couple ones, couple twos as we progress downwards onto Seattle. And as always, I thank everyone for tuning in. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. We will be back here very shortly with our Conquest number 3 video, where we are going to go and take San Fran. We're going to take out, if it's still there, the little bit of the Angels that are left, as well as moving into Arizona and the remainder of Seattle's big territory they have so far. So like I said, thank you guys for tuning in. Follow us on YouTube. Follow us on Twitter at DaddyLeague, so you guys set to update with all the latest Diamond Dynasty, MLB 16, as well as Madden 17 news. We're going to be getting some big Madden 17 blogs in the upcoming week about gameplay, following week, CFM. It's going to be huge stuff. Make sure you guys check it out. We're going to have some really detailed stuff about that. As always, show this like button a little bit of love, and make sure you guys tune in for the next Conquest video. We will see you guys back here next time.